Soho where you drink champagne.
Welcome back. Listening to Inside the Great Outdoors. Carl wrote that Doc's favorite nets are fish nets. He probably wears them on his legs. Yeah, he got all the different kinds of nets, all right.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if the guys from that crappie tournament are going to call in. They're supposed to call today and tell us about that. Where exactly do you know is that building? Is it right like where the park is? So you go out that causeway to get there, or what?
It's a little bit west of there on Route 2, or Route 6, Route 6.
So it's right on Route 6.
Yeah, right down the road.
So you don't go to the park or anything?
No, you don't have to go to the park. It's you'll see it. It's big, brand new building and lots of parking, and it's the Cedar Point Sports Center complex.
Oh, okay.
It's off. It's not at Cedar Point.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. They've had a lot more vendors sign up and sponsors, and I'm excited as heck about this because I'm crappie fishing is probably my favorite type of thing to do.
Yeah,
and to see all these guys that really know what they're doing.
Yeah,
crappie fishing that all the different places along Lake Erie, and there's so many fish up there that it's basically an untapped resource. There are people that fish it, but they don't really talk about it much.
Yeah.
But the tournament's going to be interesting to see how the amounts of fish, the size of the fish, and just how good it is in the fall, because it's been really good lately. So they should be starting to stack up in there pretty good in the rivers and in the marinas and in Sandusky Bay and East Harbor, all those places. So
yeah, well, big water has big fish, so and that's why they have more food available. They're not. It's a very untapped fishery.
Oh yeah, just a matter of finding them, and these guys can find them.
Yeah,
absolutely. But the expo is really cool because it's going to be, the best thing about it for everybody is it's free.
Yeah,
it's get in, it's free to park, and if you want to talk to some really knowledgeable crappie anglers and product manufacturers, you've got it all going on there. So there are, what fishing rod to use, what line to use, the different kinds of baits, the different, if you're a live scope guy, they're going to have folks from the electronics manufacturers there to talk about it. If you're interested in lithium batteries and changing over to those, they're going to have Miller Tech is one of the title sponsors there. They're helping out. The custom rod guys are going to be there. B&M poles, Outlaw crappie poles. There's going to be, all sorts of lure companies and jig companies. And Norm, if you're looking for nets, you got to have a crappie net. I have an Ego net. Ego Nets is going to be there.
Okay.
And they make all sorts of nets. So they make a really good crappie net. It's light, telescopes out about 12 feet. And
ooh.
It's so you can keep it short, get them close to the boat, or if you got to reach out, you can, because you're using a 10-foot rod or a longer fishing rod, you got to reach out a little further. You can do that too. So
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, and this time of year in the fall, though, the crappies are really starting to turn on. And,
I'll be there with bated breath.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. Barron doesn't want to get into the van. I don't know what, so I hate to leave him home that long. I'm a little worried about that, so I'm trying to figure if I can get him in the van, then I could just take him in or leave him in the van or combination. So I'm trying to work to see,
I would say meatballs.
to meatballs.
Yeah,
What? What am I missing?
meatballs.
What? To get him to go into the van?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of, trying to get a treat. Give him a treat, throw the treat in there and see. But
Place the treat in there.
yeah, he used to.
Walking meatballs, you know.
Hey, Norm, would you let
Yeah.
Joe? Would you let Joe tempt you with food to get in the van?
Not his food. I'd make him go buy some meatballs already cooked, you know.
I never made meatballs.
That's why he won't
Oh,
get stuff like burnt onions and potatoes.
oh, jeez. I know
Oh.
that dog wouldn't eat any of Joe's leftovers, you know.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, but so I'm trying to figure how I can get him to come along, and so we'll see. I got to work on it. I'll do some test runs and see, maybe try to see about getting him used to it or whatever. So, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a nice, and it's coming up a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You know that it's getting closer, and it looks like, well, it's hard to tell what the forecast is out that
I'm going
far
to tell
yet.
you, with this rain, those steelhead are going to be coming up the river.
Yeah.
Buddy of mine was out walleye fishing. Didn't catch any walleye off of Rocky River, but he caught he said about a 4 or 5 pound steelhead just jigging for walleye off Rocky River.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jigging.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Wow.
one of the group of people out there right now are the steelhead guys, because they're flipping out because it rained and we got a good inch of rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should get some fish moving up the rivers. There's some in there now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I saw somebody caught a pink salmon in the Rockies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Pretty big one too. Had a really big hump on it.
yeah. Some humpies.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a neat looking fish, but it was a relatively cool rain. It definitely wasn't a warm rain. So, because
Yeah.
you not only need the rain, but you need the rain to cool things down and cool the water.
Yeah, he caught
And
that
that's-
on a little blade bait, you know. I
Really?
forget which one.
Wow.
They're catching on spoons up there. That was one of the things in the report was they're catching them up at Fairport Harbor off the short wall there and off the Menor Headland side.
They are catching him off the wall?
Yeah.
KO wobblers and little Cleos,
Oh.
green and silver or blue and silver.
And they're catching.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
A lot of their fish are out in front of the mouths, and some of them are coming in. And
Yeah, and this rain will just make it more so.
yep,
It'll get
So
the
it's-
flow. It not only gets the temperature up, but it gets the flow rate up.
Yep.
And that's what they need, that flow rate to be increased for them to come in, because then they know that's,
A lot of times too, if you see the birds coming in, that means the minnows are coming in, and that means the
Yeah.
fish are coming in.
the fish you'll see them jumping out there. You'll
Yep.
see them
Yeah, you'll see them surfacing.
bait. Same thing with on the inland lakes. The minnows and the shad are starting to school up in bait balls, and the fish are going through them and just tearing them up, which is fun to watch. And but after a while you think, oh, those poor little minnows. They're getting hammered.
There's just jillions of them out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's nature's way to not the chain of command, but the chain of
Cycle.
life.
Survival
yeah.
of the fittest.
Yeah, and one thing feeds on another. You just, it just keeps getting bigger. That feeds on stuff, and you get to the big walleye, and then humans are feeding on it, and so it's a cycle, a circle cycle. So
Circle cycle.
yeah. So I'm glad to see that you're sounding better, and looks like you're feeling better and looking better. So it's all positive.
Yeah. fishing does that to you, you know?
Yeah.
Going outside, getting the fresh air, hanging out with your buddies, laughing. So it's
Yeah.
sort of like our hanging out with your buddies and picking at each other and laughing and
Oh yeah.
Make
It's a it's very relaxing.
oh yeah. It's I'm
Hmm.
sure after like a 3-hour fishing trip when we're all together.
Yeah. Michael Bray said that he got 12 good-sized walleye last weeks in the bay. He was using my divers and worm harnesses.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah, it's fall is get rid of the heat. That's when the fish know that it's going to be slim pickings coming really soon. And so that's why they're, really garbaging up and eat as much, taking advantage of all they can find. So that's why
Yeah.
fishing is so good come fall, because they're, really concentrating on eating because they know that it's only going to get slimmer pickings. So they kind of, sort of overdo it, but try to get as much eating done as they can. And same with the minnows, they're feeding too. So it just, like we say, the chain of
Yeah. They had
cycle. Yeah.
past week they had a big bug hatch too. Lots of midges up in hatched up along the lake in Lake Erie, and there were midges everywhere up there.
Really?
Mm.
The Channel 3 building was covered with them, and all the faint-hearted folks I work with are all grossed out by them. And it's like they're not going to hurt you. They're just a nuisance. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gross. I don't even want to go outside. I don't want to do anything. I don't really.
What age group?
Oh, younger.
Yeah.
30s.
Yeah.
Any age
Yeah.
group is younger than
Yeah.
us here at the, at the
Yeah, but it-
studio.
But you're right. You think they, what are they going to be like when they get to 60 and 70 and 80? If they're worried about that now with something that's,
Goes
yeah,
in the Pleistocene age group.
yeah. All right. Well, we'll take a short break and then we'll have the fishing report with Carl, and we're in the
Touched
home.
on it, but I'll get into more detail after the break.
Okay, good. Well, we'll take a break and we will be back.
Well, we drank champagne and danced all night under electric candlelight. She picked me up and sat me on her knee. Said, little boy, won't you come on with me? Well, I'm not the world's most passionate guy.
If you missed the live version of Inside the Great Outdoors, you can catch the rebroadcast Sunday nights at 11 p.m. on WHKRadio.com.
Inside the Great Outdoors is now available as a podcast. Just open up your iTunes and search the Apple Store for Inside the Great Outdoors. Click subscribe and you'll start getting the show downloaded to your computer as soon as it's available. Put it on your favorite MP3 player and take the show with you on the go. Check out the podcast today.
Hey, it's time to fill your freezer. Stop by and see Dion's Meats at one of their 2 locations. They're located at the West Side Market, or you can go to the corner of Pleasant Valley Road and York in beautiful downtown Parma. Dion's offers a wide variety of fresh local pork, beef, poultry, and deli meats. They also feature a select line of fresh veal and lamb products. Here at Dion's, our mission is to provide only the best quality of products, selection, and service. In business for over 10 years, Dion strives for customer satisfaction, 100% quality guarantee. We have local products delivered to us fresh every day. With over 28 varieties of fresh sausage, we have something for everyone. Don't know what's for dinner? Let us help you decide with our specialty line of oven-ready products. Dion's prepares everything on-site with fresh, natural ingredients. Dion's Meats, West Side Market, and in Parma.
For those that fish Lake Erie and are used to fishing with Dipsy divers, I think they've got to try my diver, Castaway's magnetic diver. And what's so neat about it, it's a magnetic release. So you don't have to fight But the problem with the regular Dipsies is that they'll trip. You got to bring them in. set
Or
'em-
sometimes they won't trip.
or they won't trip. This is a magnetic release, so you let it into the water, and as it has slack, it falls and it sets and then dives. And then when a fish hits it, it trips it, comes to the surface, and comes in. But the neat thing about it as well is you can fish with it. You can trip it. You can let it come up through the water column. You can reset it. So it's a great way to get a bait down and away from the boat. So it's Castaway's Magnetic Diver, but it's something, if you're a troller, you need to look into. It's a great product and a great way to make fishing a lot easier and a lot more productive. Order yours today.
This segment is brought to you by Discount Drug Mart, the stores that save you the runaround, an employee ownership company serving Ohio for 50 years.
Hey, woman, you got the blues, 'cause you ain't got no one else to use.
Well, welcome back. Time for the fishing report. So, Carl, what and where and how and when? What?
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Boo.
They're jumping in the net.
Yeah, yeah.
The walleyes are moving in. I think people are starting to get them from the shore, casting in the evenings.
Oh.
Now's the time to start because there's no, specific date or anything, but you got to put yourself in the right place at the right time, and it's just starting to be the right time for the walleyes to start moving in. So they're catching them. They're doing really good out off Lorraine still, and I don't know, the walleye fishing in Lake Erie is just so good. It's like when do they not bite? And it's like, well,
when you're sitting at home.
yeah, that's when they don't bite.
Right.
So there are, and we talk about it every week. A lot of the folks are pre-fishing and getting ready for the walleye derby and the fall brawl and all of that stuff that's coming up in next week. It starts, I believe. So they're going to be trolling their little hearts out there at night. But remember, be safe out there, guys. There was an incident with some perch anglers, I guess, over by Green Island. Either yesterday, I think it was yesterday. They had it actually. Another angler saw a boat, somebody waving a distress flag, and they went over to check them out, and their boat was sinking, and they were bailing water.
Really?
Yeah, and they had called the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard wasn't there yet, but the guys had their life jackets on, and they were bailing water like the Dickens.
Yeah.
And this gentleman who went over to help them out pulled up next to their boat, and 4 guys crawled into his boat, and then the Coast Guard showed up, and then Coast Guard took the guys in, get them checked out, make sure they're okay, and within minutes, the boat that was taken on water was gone, sank like that.
Really? How big a boat? Yeah.
It looked like about a 20, 25 foot,
Oh, wow.
like an older boat.
Yeah.
It's you got to watch it out there. It's things can change in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's especially if you're out there at night and the water's cold and everything else. The water's cool; it's not cold, but you'll still get hypothermia if it's in the upper 60s, mid 60s, and it'll still get you. That's not warm. You might think, 65, 70 degrees is really the temperature's fine, air temperature's fine, but you get in water like that, stay in it for any length of time, it's going to catch up with you.
About 20 minutes to a half hour.
Yep, you gotta be safe out there, and good job to that boater that went over. I had the post up, but I can't find it now. But good job to him for going over, helping those guys out, and getting them out of that boat. So
Yeah.
averted a tragedy, which is a good thing. So that's the best thing, best outcome ever, except the boat sank.
Yeah.
It's But anyway, inland, yesterday met up with some of the guys from Cast Cray, and we did a little dock fishing out at Mosquito.
Oh.
I showed up. I had my sleep study the night before, so went home, changed my clothes, drove out to Mosquito. I got there about 8:30, 9 o'clock, somewhere in there. And they had already been fishing for an hour and a half. And one of my friends, Scott, was like, I already got 37.
Wow.
Holy cow.
So he was nailing them. All the guys were nailing them. Not real big fish. And so I went to work on them, and I had them dialed in by the end of I was experimenting with all sorts of different things and what was working best, and I finally found the bait, the color, the depth, and it was every single time I dropped it out. It was sort of like cane pole fishing, because I had my 10-foot Russ Bailey crappie rod, the B&M crappie rod, Russ Bailey crappie rod, and it's 10 feet long. I had just enough line out where I could just flip it right up next to the docks, and I was fishing probably 6 feet deep, 6.5 maybe, and every single time I would drop it down, it would drop and slowly sink. 64th ounce jig head with a Minsky, a micro Minsky. That's the name of the bait, the Cast Cray bait, in chartreuse. Every single drop.
Wow.
Was it. And there were these three guys sitting on the dock, not next to me. That they were, we could all talk to each other in a regular voice and hear each other, but they were like, because I was just sitting there, I was sitting in my chair with my legs crossed, just flipping every time. Flip, pull a fish out, flip, pull a fish out. And one guy said, older gentleman was like, you look so relaxed and so happy. And I said, I am in the zone, baby. It was awesome. And the same thing is going on at Nimisila, catching lots of small fish. The bigger ones haven't moved in yet. They're mixed in, and every once in a while you get some nice ones. Yesterday at Nimisila, I was counting. I caught 79 crappies.
Oh, my.
Holy cow.
I could have kept probably 20 of them. They were over 9 inches, but I wasn't keeping fish. So
yeah.
And also at Mogador, somebody caught an 18.5-inch crappie on the Mogador Bait and Tackle Facebook page. They have a nice photo, 18.5 inches,
Ooh.
and I forget what he said it was. It was over a 3-pounder.
Yeah.
So it's big fish. And that time of year, and they're filling their bellies with whatever they can get in it. So it's definitely the time to get out. I think the guys at Mogador were out in a boat. So I know Joe Keogh was talking about Ladue being drained so low, and at the boathouse there, they're selling off all their tackle and all their boats and everything. So I don't know what's going on out there. Nobody seems to know. So if you're looking for a 14-foot John boat or a kayak or something, go out there and talk to them, because they got deals going on. It's like a 14-foot John boat with a trolling motor and 2 batteries and oars and life jackets and all of that. Is like $1,100 for the whole shebang. So it's quite the deal.
That's a deal. Yeah.
Hey, somebody did write, I bet Carl didn't think about his leg the whole time he was talking about the crappie extravaganza. His enthusiasm is contagious. Have a good day, Ken. That's very nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
My leg is, I was just sitting there relaxing, catching fish after fish. When I was leaving, I was like, my leg feels pretty swollen.
Well, yeah. Get your mind off of it. And
You guys with the longest poles always have the best luck, you know?
There was actually a guy out there. He had a couple of ice fishing rods, and he was catching the dickens out of them.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like, I'd just come out with my little ice fishing rods, drop it straight down off the dock, and they're right there.
Huh? I'll be darned.
Yeah, they've moved into that little cove where the marina is at Mosquito, the state park boat ramp where all the docks are.
Yeah.
And you can fish the docks now. And one of my buddies, JC, he caught a 13-incher, so he got 13.
We got some big ones in there.
Yeah, they're mixed in. You just gotta,
Sort
keep
through
the
'em.
little stuff and say the magic fish catching words and hope the big ones bite. I'm gonna next week up there on Saturday. There's it's a dock shooting tournament. One of the guys, they set up it's a little fun pot tournament thing. $10, throw it in a hat, and half goes to the winner, half goes to the Cass Cray Cares, or 60-40 or something. I forget what it is, but we're going to raise a little money for the Cass Cray Cares nonprofit to help get fishing rods and tackle and stuff for kids and
That's
different
nice.
groups that they help out at youth fishing events all over the area. So we're going to do that and have some fun next weekend. I hope my antibiotics kick in by then and I can go. So I'm planning on being there one way or another.
I
Good.
wish I was still in practice. I could see you,
Yeah, you can give me a vaccine.
Yeah.
Give you a wormer and some antibiotics, and
give
you'd
him
be
a
all
wormer.
set,
That's what he needs is a wormer.
Worming.
Because then he would save them, and then he would use them to catch crappies and bluegills.
Switch it for the
fishing-
mange a little bit,
Even the bass fishing out at Nimisila, I was catching a lot of smaller crappies and hooked into a big bass while using a little crappie jig. And you don't need those big giant baits; they'll hit the little ones sometimes.
Yeah.
They're hitting big baits too because they're chasing shad and bluegills, and they're even eating the little crappies. I actually had one. What day was it? Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday. I went Tuesday morning and catching little crappies, and I was like, whatever. And I'm searching for bigger fish and looking and catching lots of little 4 or 5 inch fish. And I caught a bluegill about 5 inches long. I was reeling it in, and then all of a sudden, boom! Something grabbed the bluegill, and it was a bass. It was probably 2-pound bass. Grabbed the bluegill and was swimming around with it in his mouth, and came up, and I saw him because the water's so clear. I saw him swimming right by shore, and I was just laughing, and that was so neat to see. And he spit the bluegill out and swam away, and then I caught the bluegill, took him off the hook, and he swam away. So everybody was happy.
Good. Good. Okay. Well, we'll take a break, and then we got Tales from the Trails on the other side. We had a caller, but he couldn't hang on, so maybe he'll call back. So we'll take a short break, and we will return.
Destroyed all the virtues that the Lord gave you. It's so good that you're feeling pain, that you better get your face on board the very next train.
Stop everything. It's clam bake season at the Lobster Pot in beautiful Willoughby Hills, Ohio. For only $39, you'll get a dozen clams with drawn butter, an herb-roasted chicken breast, their famous clam chowder, corn on the cob, red-skin potatoes, bread, and coleslaw for, again, only $39. And don't forget, you can add on a fillet, a ribeye, a lobster tail, a full lobster, snow crab legs, or extra orders of clams. That's the Lobster Pot in beautiful Willoughby Hills. Open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Call now for reservations at 440-569-1634. That's 440-569-1634. Or go to thelobsterpotrestaurant.com. That's lobsterpotrestaurant.com.
You've all heard about PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition, and you know that it's a weight loss program that works. You don't lose weight easily or quickly, but you lose the weight naturally. The program is based 100% on nutrition. They teach you to eat the right food for your body. There are no drugs, no injections, no terrible side effects. In fact, all the side effects of this program have been good ones. Better energy, you'll sleep better, have more focus, and your clothes will fit better. More importantly, you'll just feel better. If you have weight to lose and are considering taking those weight loss shots on the market, please read the side effects first. Getting healthy should not make you sick, and it shouldn't make you dependent on a drug. PhD is freedom. PhD teaches you to rely on yourself and your knowledge and do what is right for your body. Call them today at 864-644-1900 or find them online at myphdweightloss.com. That's 864-644-1900.
Do you enjoy a good story about hunting or fishing? Then you need to get your hands on Tales from the Trails, the real-life adventures of Castaway Coulis. Take a journey around the world with Joe as he recounts some of his best hunting and fishing trips, from Africa to Alaska, from behind the Iron Curtain to Australia. You can share in his memories through the book, complete with pictures to take you on the journey. It's a trip back in time looking through the eyes of an outdoors legend. Order your copy today on Amazon or at castaway.com. That's Castaway with a K.com.
Welcome back. Yeah, I think I'll tell you, I'll prolong the tales from a bit here because we got a couple callers I'd like to get in here. So, good morning, Doug.
Hey, good morning, guys. I joined the show late, and I came in the middle of the fishing report, and that was great to hear. Carl, I was out there yesterday in Mosquito, too. I was in a boat bass fishing, and I usually bang those docks, but when people are on them, I leave them alone. But just to let you know, they had a tournament, actually two tournaments, I was told yesterday, in my hot spot, so to speak. They were parked on them, so I didn't get to fish them. So I did get some bass. I got some, but then I went pan fishing. I just had one jig left, and you don't need a dock, so I'm trying to say edge of weed lines and anywhere from 2 to 6 foot of water, literally every cast, perch, bluegill, perch, bluegill.
Good.
And then I got into the crappies, and they are, like you said, they're getting ready for the ugly winter season coming up here. And but yeah, and I got some. What was most impressive were the size of the gills. I got some crappies. They were approaching 9 inches, but some of the gills were so big. I thought I had a small bass on. They were, but I had either 2 or 4 pound. I forget. Taking drag out on a light reel. I thought I had a bass on some of these bluegills. They're so big.
Yeah.
Great.
I left. They were now Lake Erie. They're having troubles with catching perch. Go to Mosquito, but they're some of them about as big as your index finger. So they're not very big.
Yeah.
They'll get
They're
big
in there,
eventually,
too.
Yeah.
If something doesn't need them.
Yeah, it was just amazing. No matter where you stopped, in a boat, you got to worry about the wind a little bit, but every cast just about bang, 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 bang. And I didn't have no, like the little, you use those little ones, everything hits you. With the little bigger jig, you discriminate, but those little tiny ones, they don't hit as much.
Yeah.
But, no, I just want to add that there, if someone's in a boat, you don't necessarily have to bother those people on the docks. Just go out in the main lake and look for a weed edge, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. We appreciate it.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, you guys take care.
You too.
Yeah, call
Bye.
again.
Yeah, okay. And let's get to Lance. How's it going?
Hello. Well, I got a question.
Okay.
At East 55th, they're saying that we can no longer power wash because the EPA won't allow us, which doesn't make any sense since the boat's in the water all the time. And I don't understand your reasoning.
You can't do what?
They won't allow us to power wash at East 55th at the marina any longer. They said that the EPA is not allowing us to do it. And I'm going, what is the rule? It doesn't make any sense, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. Have you heard anything about that, Carl?
Not worth looking into, though. You know, because people take their boats
Yeah,
out.
I think it should. I've been seeing it. It doesn't make any sense, you know? And I know you, Joe. I used to be Denduris's friend.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, are you using any detergents or soaps when you're power
just
washing?
power washing.
Okay.
I don't understand their reasoning. On the boat sits in the water, you got to clean the zebra mussels off.
Yeah.
You're not really shooting any of the paint off because you don't want to take the paint off.
Right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been trying to look into it, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So they're stopping us from doing it, and it doesn't make any sense, you know, because you don't want to take it home and take it into, you know, if I live in Richfield, if I take it out here and it gets in my pond or in a stream, and them zebra mussels, who knows how long those evasive.
Yeah, and they don't tell you anything why?
No, there's no reasoning why. I don't understand why. I have to look into it more, but maybe you guys could. You know, I think it's interesting.
Probably the
something
marina
interesting.
wants to do it for you.
No, they don't want to do it. They don't even want to allow us to do it.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, if you hear anything,
I
then
don't.
we'll,
I really don't know. I
yeah,
haven't
we'll
heard anything
see if we could
about
find out something. Good.
Yeah, I think that.
Who
Yeah,
runs
well, I think,
East
you know, I'm trying to
55th
look
Street
into it.
Marina? Is that run by Metro Parks?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And my
Okay.
our favorite people.
Yeah, there could be some. You might want to call Metro Parks and see why.
No, I did. I know. I already know. They already told us we couldn't do it. They're not saying why or any reason why. You know, so they're saying it's the EPA, and I don't know. I don't understand that reasoning. I have to look into it and see what the EPA says. You know.
Yeah, that's who I'd call next.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks,
Yeah.
Lance.
Thanks for letting
All
us
right,
know.
you guys have a great day.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
So with storytelling, there have been the northern lights have been visible here, all the way down to Florida. So of all I've seen northern lights so much because I'll be in the fall in Manitoba and Alaska and wherever, and the most dramatic. I've seen them where it's just a halo. I've seen some pretty colorful ones, although what the pictures are showing around here are some really colorful ones. But the most dramatic, so we're hunting in Alaska. It had to be fall moose hunting because it's a fall thing. And there was a bear that kept coming in. Now we're just in tents. And you'd hear the guide, he'd go out and he shoots his gun, and because there was a bear hanging around, and you don't want a bear in camp at all. Oh, mainly because he could get scared, and that's when you have a problem. And then he yells, "Come on, guys, you got to get out here to see this." So go outside. And this was the most, I've seen a lot of northern lights, but this was unbelievable. It had some color to it, but this shows how fast the earth is spinning. So you would look on the horizon. Within seconds, it was over your head and gone. Like there was a jet plane 10 feet over your head and flew by at 700 miles, I don't know, whatever they fly at. You could not believe, because you couldn't take your head and move it fast enough to watch it go across the sky. And it really showed how fast our globe, you don't think it's even moving. It is really spinning. And that really brought it. I'll never forget that. And we didn't want to go back to bed because it was like, and then it would be, and it was mostly over, although the whole sky was like that. But you're taking it in, and you knew this was once in a lifetime thing to see. And it had color, but the main thing, you would look at it and then it was gone. I've never seen that. I guess we had to be just the right conditions or the right place or whatever. But to see those northern lights shoot like shooting stars, zoom, zoom, zoom. And we got to go to bed already. We got to get up in a couple hours. But you didn't want to leave because it was like astounding. And that was unbelievable. Of all the ones, I've only seen it once. So I don't know why, if we were in the right position, conditions, what.
Right place at the right time.
Right time. You usually see them and they kind of dance and stuff. But to have them shoot overhead, it was like, and we weren't real high up. We were on the Alaskan Peninsula. We were probably out of Dillingham, not too far. So in that chain of islands. But that was dramatic. Boo, boy. I used to love going there. And of all the trips, there are, I think, 61 trips to Alaska. That one really stands out because it was once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
I've never talked to anybody that's seen it, but I've seen it with my own eyes, and you don't forget it. So, anyways, that's my story. Sticking to it.
Yeah, those are caused by coronal mass ejections.
Yeah. Why are
last one I remember was in 1969.
I'm wondering why they're so far to the south. Okay. And yes, Doc. Okay. As he's laughing away here. But why they are, they're really colorful.
Yeah.
But they're really way down. And it's amazing how they knew where it's going to be. They knew. They were telling people, okay.
It's a circular pattern around the world. They're that far south.
Yes.
It goes all the way around the world.
How they knew that it was going to be that low. Usually it's up in Canada. And I've seen them I've seen one where it looked like it was, you're in the mountain and that there was a big town. But there was no town over there. Was a glow, like from the ground up.
Right.
And it was white. And it looked like there was, when you get near a shopping center and you see that glow off in the distance. But
I think they know the projections from the satellites they have up there.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
They can take these pictures nowadays that are just amazing.
Yeah. But it's nice that people that don't get to travel get to see that. So, but all right. Well, we'll take a short break. We're in the home stretch. It's a nice sunny day. Will be well, I don't know about sun, but at least the rain is gone. So we will take a short break and we will be back.
Talk to me. It's all right. Yeah, let's go hunting, baby.
The Fireplace Shop of Northfield has been serving Northeastern Ohio for 38 years, and we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We're running our fall special for the chimney cleaning and inspection for your wood or gas fireplaces. We also specialize in gas, logs, pellet stoves, and inserts. We will thoroughly clean the chimney and firebox and do up to a 21-point safety inspection to make sure everything is in good, safe working condition for you to use. We offer masonry repairs, chimney liners, SS caps, gutter cleaning, waterproofing, chimney rebuild, and certified gas line installations, and give free estimates. We are licensed, insured, and bonded, and accept all checks and all major credit cards. Call 330-468-0303. Stop in and visit our newly decorated 6,000 square foot showroom with 50 burning displays.
My granddad bought me my first bow when I was 10 years old. Told me he'd take me out bow hunting when I was ready. I practiced and practiced, and I got my first whitetail hunting with him on my 13th birthday. Granddad's gone now, but I think of him every year during deer season. So tonight, whether I bag a buck or not, I'm going to stop at Discount Drug Mart and pick up a bottle of his favorite wine. And I'm going to raise a glass in his honor. Thanks for the memories, Granddad. And thanks for helping, Drug Mart.
that. This is Inside the Great Outdoors. Time for Good News with Good News Keo. What do you got?
Final segment of the program. Hey, well, as I stated earlier, the Divisional Wildlife, ODNR Divisional Wildlife, has stocked 14,400 pheasants on public property, or will be soon.
Yeah.
In time for small game opener. Hey, this rain is good news.
Yeah.
I got almost an inch.
Yeah, us too.
I woke up about 2 a.m. and I heard it raining, and I said, "Well, that's great."
Yeah.
When I got up, it was still raining.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple heavy downpours as well, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like, and then driving in, we hit some really heavy downpours, but we needed it badly. So yeah, I was surprised we got that much, but yeah, that we needed, and we're going to be getting more this evening and tomorrow and the next day. So we need it badly.
And though it's not necessarily outdoors news, the Cleveland beat Detroit yesterday.
That was fantastic news.
Great game.
Yeah, it really
Boy,
was.
when they started catching up, and you'd think, oh, shoot. And then the guy that hits the home runs, but he's the guy that goofed up the last game, but he struck him out. So that was like, he was bound and determined to get that guy because of what he did to him last time, and won the game. So, yeah, that was good. And then we added back on after they got a little bit. We came back, so shows that's what was really encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Joe. I admit.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Also on the fish stocking, this comes to us from the Ohio Outdoor News. We touched briefly on it, I think a few weeks ago, but the ODNR stocked nearly 20,000 muskies so far in the 10 to 12 inch range. And those areas near us that have received the infusion of young muskies, West Branch, Lake Milton, and Pymatuning. So that's pretty. And I saw. I meant to save it, but there was a tournament in Ireland that a local angler caught. I think he placed 4th place in a pike tournament over there in Ireland. I'll look it up, see if I can have it for you next week. Who that was?
Yeah, I remember when I went there and we went pike fishing. It's a big thing, and they got some monstrous pike.
Yeah,
I mean, like almost 100
predator tournament.
Yeah, almost 100 pounds. These kids got it. They found it in shallow water spawning long time ago. But yeah, they got a lot of pike in Ireland.
This one I think was 42 inches. Which is a dandy.
Yeah.
By any standard.
Yeah.
And a former Ohioan who is no stranger to the duck stamp art competition, Adam Grimm. Now he lives in South Dakota, but he won, I think that's for the 3rd time.
Yeah.
Bavaria native Adam Grimm painted a pair of spectacle eiders, which if you pick up a copy,
yeah,
they're pretty birds.
It's
very.
And it's an amazing rendition of what it's beautiful snow-capped mountains in the background.
Yeah.
I remember he'd always
Male and
come to the
female
West
eider
Side Duck
program.
DU banquets when he was a kid.
Yeah. Extremely talented artist.
Oh, yeah.
And also a kid in Erie, Colton Alex, caught a 10.4-pound Atlantic salmon while fishing on Lake Erie on August 2nd.
Wow.
Pretty rare to catch an Atlantic
that's
salmon.
pretty amazing.
It is.
When you get stuff
They
like
did
that
stock
mixed
them
in.
Lake Huron, so they speculate that that's where it came from. Lake Huron.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's kind of a really cool catch. She thought it was maybe a steelhead at first, but
yeah,
it's an Atlantic salmon.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm sure there's a lot of that goes on that people don't realize what they're catching. They just take it for granted and don't pay attention.
I think you're probably right. Yeah. I think that there's very subtle differences. That,
Yeah, they
that
say it's a
only
little
maybe, like,
different,
Black
but
would
they
be able
don't.
to point out.
Right, don't pay attention to it, and there's not only one. There's probably more.
I was telling Joe here that I caught an Atlantic salmon and giant eagle this week.
Yeah, and he ate it too.
Yeah, they do farm quite a bit of Atlantic salmon.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
But they
Well, we
should
did hear
really-
from Mary from Homestead that she had pollock fish this week for the first time,
That's good.
and she baked it with a little bit of breading and said it was not bad. It wasn't like walleye, but she said it was
It's good. That's they make a lot of
you
the
know-
fish sandwiches and everything with pollock.
Pollock, okay.
I do
Pollock is,
believe.
they're caught in the Gulf of Alaska. I think most of them,
Yeah.
and they're pretty sustainable. They're a delicious fish.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
good fish.
I
Nice
like
way.
pollock a lot as well.
What'd you say, Carl?
Yep. And when you get those phony crab,
They're tasty.
They're tasty, yeah. Go ahead, Joe. What?
yeah, when you get, they usually make they grind it up into a paste to make those phony crab legs.
Yeah.
So it's better off just buying a piece of pollock than you are those phony crab legs.
Well, what's this thing you buy that they're saying is crab and it looks like it's pink and white, but it's it's solid. It's not ground. What is that?
Yeah, that's
Pollock.
a phony. That's a phony crab. It's
It
they take
is?
pollock and they
It's
send it
pollock.
through a
Well, that's
blender.
pollock.
Yeah.
And it comes out of a tube like toothpaste, and they shoot it into a plastic sock that's colored red on one side.
Really?
And they cut it to length.
And that's
yeah.
ground?
Yeah, it's ground and
It's more.
pressed.
It's more
Yeah.
than ground. It's like pureed. It's,
Oh, because it's like
Totally.
solid. It looks like
Yeah,
the
it's
meat that would
pressed.
come out of a crab. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that it was imitation, but I didn't realize that
Mhm.
that's
It's not bad.
no, it's not bad at all.
at least that's what they say it is.
Yeah, I thought it
could be
was
something else.
I thought it
you know.
was either skate or some of the bottom flatfish.
Could be.
like
They
a-
could put a little
like a
caulk
bycatch.
in it or something.
Holy cow!
It comes out of a tube. Yeah. I would
Really?
imagine it's kind of funny to watch it being made.
Yeah. We got to, Carl, find some video of that. That would be interesting. Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow. Interesting.
Hey, our bit of culture today comes from Patrick McManus.
Oh,
He
I
wrote for
love
many
Patrick
years.
McManus.
Exit Laughing, and
Yeah.
he's a great guy. Was a great. He
Was, yeah.
Yeah.
So was Joe at
Um,
one time,
Mhm.
Thanks.
From 1999, his book called The Complete Curmudgeon. I thought of Doc when I read that. I don't know why. But I identified with this one. Back when I was a kid, parents never cluttered up a youngster's mind with explanations. But Ma, why? Because I said so.
Right. Yeah. No explanations. Because I said so. Shut up. And do what I told you.
Have you no brain?
Turn down the heat. Turn down the heat.
Right.
Oh, jeez. I did find a note.
I
She would write me notes every once in a while because when I get up early to go to work, and this was, good luck. Hope you have a wonderful day, Mom.
Free
Like-
to good home.
So I keep it by my computer. Yeah.
I remember one time when I was a kid, my mom would give explanations, but sometimes they were obviously just excuses.
Yeah.
And one time I said, "Hey, can we go under the sprinkler?" Because it was a hot summer day.
Yeah.
No, you just had dinner. Gotta wait an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I said, that only applies to swimming.
yeah.
Because I said so. That's why.
Oh, jeez.
Now
Hey,
there
you
is
know,
a
I'm so-
time. There is a time to fish, and there is a time to dry the nets. I'm not saying anything more.
Okay.
That's why Doc has so many nets because they just sit there and they
And
dry
dry.
rot. So he buys another one and another one. You don't use them.
I got to get a crappie net now. Carl's got
Oh,
me all
geez.
excited.
Oh, God.
I need a 10-foot crappie rod and a 12-foot crappie net, and
Oh, boy.
And
But you need,
a shot in the back,
but
and I'll
you
be
need
ready to go.
You need to go fishing first.
I need that shot.
There you go. Hopefully you'll get it soon. And then both you and Doc and Carl can be out.
Yeah, stumbling along.
There you go.
That was a
Boo.
funny photo
Lots
that
of,
Carl
lots of
posted
limping
on
going.
Facebook page.
Oh, Mary wrote too. And the pollock is low in mercury.
Carl, they do have a new wheelchair out there that has tracks.
Yeah, I saw
Oh.
that.
I need one of those.
Well, maybe if we get 2 of them, we can get a deal on them. You know?
Yeah. It's like a twin troller, but with a wheelchair.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week, Joe.
Sounds good.
Take care.
We'll see you, Joe.
See
Okay,
ya.
gentlemen. Yep. Have a great
Bye-bye.
week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Oh, and then we'll talk to you, Carl, too. I hope you get better and hang in there and get over this thing, and so we can see you next week.
Absolutely.
All right. Take
I'll-
care. Take care of yourself.
I'll bring my tournament winnings in next week.
You
and
got
bring
it.
some-
There you go.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Well, that one worked out just perfectly. It's time to hit the road, so we're closing down. Don't forget, people, say a prayer for those people, Florida and all the others. They're really having a bad time yet. So recuperation is going to be slow, and it's also mental. So say a prayer for those people for sure. And make a phone call to somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Win-win situation. I say it every week, but it's true because it's they'll be appreciative. It'll make you smile too. When one person gets happy, it's contagious, and the other has the same thing. And because a day without a smile is a day wasted. So just remember to see somebody and make them smile. Say they have a pretty smile, or do something just to cheer them up. Especially the girls that work at the stores, because they're usually complained to, and make a change for them. They'll appreciate it. And as my mother would always tell me, Joey, don't you ever take any wooden nickels.
You've been listening to Inside the Great Outdoors with Joe Coolis, Joe Keogh, and Dr. Norm. Join us every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on AM 1420 The Answer. Download the podcast of today's show and previous broadcasts at IGOradio.com. Follow the show on Facebook and get interactive with the cast and crew. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, 7 a.m., right here on AM 1420 The Answer.